Last year, as all of you are aware, we had to make a quick shift into the virtual world. And we were fortunate enough to have two exceptional district contest coordinators who put on the hat as the district tech coordinators and successfully and brilliantly put District 47 on the virtual experience. What they have done is phenomenal, the foundational work that they have done. And what we are about to get is just a piece of it. And I know we will build on it and we will continue to share on it. And this information that you're going to pick up, imagine just impacting one of your club members or officers with this information. That empowers them, right? So we teach you, you go out to the clubs and you teach the club this. And this makes for a stronger District 47. Let me give you a little bit about our trainer this morning. Distinguished Toastmaster Lois Margolin has been an officer in at least one of her clubs since she joined in 2012. She's currently a member of three brick and mortar clubs and one online club. She's the immediate past president of her Online Presenters Club, which she helped charter a few years ago. The treasurer of Outspoken Toastmasters and vice president of membership of Club Power Speakers. She has been vice president of membership over 10 times and has sponsored more than 90 people. Lois's latest accomplishment was coaching a club from 4 members to 21 members in under 5 months. Lois was also the district finance manager 3 times and the immediate past district contest chair for Florida and technical support co-chair. Lois Margolin is our current Division B director. Lois loves Toastmasters because it provides her the opportunity to mentor people and help them discover their inner light. She believes there is nothing more rewarding than helping people find their confidence and their voice. Please help me welcome our trainer for today, Distinguished Toastmaster Lois Margolin.
Thank you, Distinguished Toastmaster and PQD, Shakira. So are you all ready to learn something about coordinating today? You know what? It sounds like it's so scary, but you have been there, you have seen this, you know what you're doing. You just have to kind of think it through. Like, what would logically happen at this stage of the contest? I am going to give you a ton of information, and actually I just added a whole bunch of slides as I kept hearing, oh yeah, Lois is going to cover that. Oh yeah, Lois is going to cover that. So I've added some slides, so it might be a little jerky in some areas, but this is also going to be available to you because Patty is going to push this out. Don't worry if you don't catch everything. The idea right now is to catch the concepts. So to reiterate what Shakira said, area directors, you are the coordinators for the clubs if they want it. Division directors, you are the coordinator for the areas if they want it. Well, actually, they don't have a choice. They want it. And as far as the division side, we will have someone that will handle the division because you cannot control your own contest. It cannot happen. You should not have that control. So here we go. Are you ready for a roller coaster ride? Because that's what we're going to be getting now. Thumbs up. Yes, we're ready. I'm ready too. Here we go. Let's see. I want to make sure I've got the right screen. Can you all see my mouse moving here? Thank you very much. That is my contact information. You are most welcome, and some of you have already, to contact me whenever, even though I understand, you know, you have all these other phenomenal people. Contact them, contact me. We are all here to make this successful. So nobody steps on anybody's toes. It's just all about the members. So here we go. We are going over all of these areas: housekeeping, breakout rooms, briefing, during the contest, judging, and judging return, when the judges return. So this is all your prep work. If you are the coordinator, hopefully you already have a pro account and you are going to be using your pro account. If you do not have a pro account and you are the coordinator, you need to get hold of, I'm going to say Shakira right now until she tells us somebody different. But as of right now, hopefully you have a pro account or somebody that you know has a pro account that you can use. In your prep work, you have to set up the contest, and you have to set it up that you enable the waiting room and that you mute participants upon entry. Why is this important? Well, imagine if for some reason you accidentally let someone in while someone was speaking. You don't want them to be doing this. Hey, George, can you get me my coffee? Yeah, I'm on the I'm on a call in the middle of somebody's speech. So absolutely make sure everybody is muted upon entry. We enable the waiting room, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that as we go. Before the contest, I encourage you to get in touch with the contest chair. Are they going to have a sergeant at arms? In this environment, you don't need a sergeant at arms to open up your contest, but a lot of individuals like that. Find out, are they going to have a pledge or an anthem? Not a requirement. What is the order? And this was the weirdest thing. Some people would have complete finish contest one, which evaluation, and then go into the humorous. Others would say, let's do contest one, get the judges to come back into the room, do contest two, get the judges to come back, and then we'll announce all winners at the very, very end. Make sure you understand how they're going to roll this. Are they going to when is the dignitary going to be recognized? Because if your division chair or your division area director, whoever it is your dignitary, you need to know when they're going to be recognized and who they are, and how are they going to recognize the functionaries. And this basically allows you to set up your screens. So you do have some prep work. I always, always, always request the contest chairs to send me the program in advance. This provides me the opportunity to populate the speaker names and populate the functionary names, okay? I also make sure that everybody understands how we are handling technical issues. And we've gone through this at contest, so this isn't anything strange to you, and this is in the contest scripts that I believe I've created, and I think Shakira is using them for this year. If you're evaluation and table topics, first of all, you know, they go into a breakout room, their hands always have to be available, and they have literally 5 minutes from the time their contestant number is called to get into the main room. If they drop off while they are in the breakout room, they are disqualified. End of story. If you accidentally leave the meeting between the breakout room to the main room because your number was called, you have 5 minutes to get into that main room. If a contestant loses connection in the breakout room, my suggestion is they have 2 devices, have a phone and their computer, and your sergeant at arms needs to see their hands and their face in both devices. But this way, if they lose one device, it's not a big deal. I would also recommend you have 2 sergeant at arms in the middle of one of our district contests in the, I think it was table topics. The sergeant at arms got bumped off, but you guys didn't know that because I had a second sergeant at arms in the room. And the first thing I did when I saw the sergeant at arms in the waiting room was check and make sure my second sergeant at arms was there and everything was good. So I would always recommend you have 2 sergeant at arms. For the humorous and the international, if the technology fails, the chief judge will pause the contest until the technology issue is resolved. You can resume your speech. You only have 30 seconds overtime. The maximum time allowed from the time your number is called, like if you're contestant number 4 and I call your number, you have 10 minutes to get back to the contest. That's it, 10 minutes. After that, you are disqualified. We do recommend to contestants, close all your additional internet connections, kick out the kids, kick out spouses, partners, whatever. This way you have full use of the internet. I also remind people, keep your email with the link to the main room available in case you do get kicked out. You want to have telephone numbers that you can text or WhatsApp. So this is really important that you understand that this isn't going to go on for 30 minutes. If there's a contestant that gets bumped, they have 10 minutes to get back. If it's humorous and international, if it's on evaluation and table topics, they have 5 minutes to move from one room to the next. That's it, 5 minutes. All right, breakout rooms. This is so much fun. Why do we use the breakout rooms? Well, it's designed to break people into smaller groups, okay? And for our purposes, we break them out for the contestants and the judges. You have to set this up before you start your meeting. If you are the coordinator and you start the meeting and you do not see the breakout room, start it again. Go out, set it up, come back and do it again. Only the host, that is the coordinator, has access to the breakout room. One other thing I did miss, and I apologize for that, when you are creating your room, make sure you use your regular ID. Do not create a recurring ID, because if for some reason the contest gets stopped and everybody has to come back in or whatever, you want to make sure you have control over that ID. So don't use some kind of recurring thing that can be changed and accidentally deleted. So that's critical, which is why I came back to the main screen. So continuing on, here's where you set it up in your settings in the meeting under advanced. There's a breakout room. Make sure it is blue so that your breakout rooms will turn on. When you start the meeting, you will see the breakout rooms right here. My suggestion, if you have never played with breakout rooms, turn on your computer, go in on your phone, go in on an iPad, have your friends call in on this test sample so you can see the breakout rooms and how they work. Matter of fact, I had my computer, my laptop, my iPad, my phone, and then I had 2 friends come on so I could play around with breakout rooms to figure out how this all works. The more you know, the more comfortable you will feel. So anything in maroon during this whole presentation is something you really need to pay extra attention to. So I've gone and put maroon on all the special comments. So you are going to see when you click breakout rooms, it says automatic and manual. We use manually only. The difference is automatic would be if you have an event for 50 people and you set up 10 rooms, so 5 people each go in. We're not doing that. We are having a very select group of people go into the rooms. That's why we do manual. We want you to rename the rooms. So you just hover over the rooms and name one room contestant and one room chief judge. Okay, and you can assign people to do this. So let me see. When we assign, you can select the names. So all the contestants, the contest master, the contest chair, all go in the contestant room. This is not anything you don't know. Chief judge has the chief judge, the judges, the timers, and the ballot counters. Okay, they all go in the chief judge room. This is when you first get in. So let's think about this. You've all seen this. The contest starts an hour before it's actually published. So if it's supposed to be a 9 o'clock contest at 8 a.m., the coordinator should be in the room and all the functionaries and the contestants should be joining. So what you're doing is you're moving the contestants, contest master, contest chair to their room and all the others to the chief judge's room. So you're letting them in from the waiting room, and you never let a contestant in at the same time a chief judges or any of the judges are in. You let a contestant in, move them, get the next person, move them. You can bring 2 or 3 contestants at a time, but don't mix the rooms. So be careful when you're doing that. That was probably my most stressful piece. So I just want to make sure you are aware of that. So moving on, when you open the room, you have the ability as the breakout master to join any of the rooms. You also have the ability to do a broadcast message, and you can close the rooms, and all rooms will close in usually 60 seconds. When your contestants or functionaries come on, I always tell them, I am sending you to your room in 3, 2, 1, and that prepares them to see the screen. And this is what they're going to see. The host is inviting you to join the breakout room, chief judge, contestant, whatever. Sometimes it's nice if you see what other people are seeing. If they accidentally don't move on iPads and some of the others, there's this little thing that says right here, join the breakout room. Or at the bottom of their screen, if they're on the computer, they can click on the breakout room. So they can get back into it. It can be challenging. And sometimes I've actually said to people, could you just log off and come right back in? Because it's easier when you do the 3, 2, 1. If they do leave, you can send them back to whatever room they want when they come back in. Now, when it's time to recreate a new breakout room, you have to delete the ones that you have to start over, because once the contestants come back and the judges and all their functionaries come back, your next breakout room is going to be unique, and we're going to have to figure out what we're going to do. But delete all the rooms after everybody comes back. So you are going to assign a co-host. You are not doing this yourself. Co-host would be your master, your chair, your chief judge, yourself, and maybe you have a helper. I would recommend a helper if you can get one. If you can't, so be it. So now we're at the point where you've let people in and you have briefings. Should have put this in the prep area, and I will move that for when I send it to Patty. You should have a WhatsApp room. And the question is, which WhatsApp's room? Say that 10 times fast. The most critical WhatsApp room is the contest master, chief judge, contest chair, and you. You are in all of these as a coordinator. This is the most critical. You will be texting the entire time in that WhatsApp. I would recommend a second WhatsApp of the chief judge and the ballot counters, and another one of the contestants, contest master, contest chair. Remember, you are on all of these. Why do we have them? Well, the chief judge needs to be able to move with their ballot counters to their own room, and the contestants need to be able to connect with us in case there's a problem. So this is, and I just grabbed one particular WhatsApp contest. The contest master, if we have a functionary no-show, Anna Jacobs is available to help out. Chief judge, thanks. Lois says, Chief Judge, do you want me to send the tie-breaking judge to your room when they arrive? Yes, he knows what he is. Still waiting on 3 contestants. Please call contestants because the doors should be opening soon. We are missing 4 judges. Please call them to see their judges, see their timing. You as coordinator have no control over anything. You are not allowed really to speak during the contest. You are not allowed to make decisions. You basically are the helper. You are only there to support. You can't tell them, oh, that contestant should be ineligible. You can't say, oh, the timer's messed up. You can't do any of that here at the contest. You can do it in the WhatsApp and say, hey, the timer, like I had some where the timers were 30 seconds off when they showed their green. And I texted in my main group, hey, your timers are off. Maybe you should only have 1 timer displaying the lights. I cannot make that call as a coordinator. The only thing I'm allowed to say as a coordinator, the contestant is not in the room, or the chief judge is not in the room, or the contestant is in the room, I'm unmuting them now. You can say stuff like that, but you can't say anything about the contest, and you cannot make any judges on it. You cannot do anything like that. That is your chief judge and your contest master's responsibility. All right, let me keep going here. Screen. So obtain the speaking order right after the briefing. Now remember, you already had in your PowerPoint, which they're going to put on the website, all the contestants. So now all you have to do is move them around based on the speaking order. What I do once I get this is I copy this screen, I just make a screenshot, and I put it in the WhatsApp chat to get confirmation the order is correct. Okay, I'm not taking any responsibility. If I have this wrong, that's because they gave it to me wrong or they didn't review this. It is their responsibility to make sure your speaking order is correct. The timer should be moved from the chief judge's briefing room to the contestant's briefing room, and you'll know when to move them via WhatsApp. And you can literally have them move out of their room, they come into the main room, and then you move them into and you assign them back to the contestants. 30 minutes before the contest, you should be opening the floodgates if the contest chair approves. So at the 30-minute mark, remember I said at 9 o'clock, you get everybody in at 8. At 8:30, if all the contestants are here and all of the functionaries are here, I will WhatsApp the contest chair and say, hey, everybody's here, can I open the gate? If I'm missing someone, now it's up to the contest chair to tell you to hold the gates or open them. So it's all based on what the contest chair said. Again, you make no decisions. It's all them. If you have minimal registration, because for area and division contests, we are going to register. If you only have 40 people registered and 30 of them are your functionaries and contestants, when the floodgates are supposed to be open, just open them. You can uncheck the enable waiting room. Just let everybody in. It's not a big deal. If, however, you get the registration list, which you should get the day in advance when registration shuts off, if you've got 95, 90 people registered to attend this contest, you need to check each one in. Here's the trick. If I've got 10 people in the contestant room and I've got 15 people in the chief judge room, if anybody's doing their math, that's 25, okay? But you know how you all go down right now and you see participants 58? That 25 is not included in that 58 count. So you have to remember that there are people that aren't here that have to be here. So if you've got 90 or 95 people, check them in off your list, and then once everybody comes back and you've only got 5 minutes to go, you can open the gates to let everybody else in. But the trick is the people that registered get priority. If they don't show up by 5 minutes till and they lose their spot, they lose their spot. Pro accounts have 100 people that can get into a room. You have to pay extra, and I know there are some people in our district that have 500 spots, but most accounts have 100, and that's what you should plan on, is that you have 100 spots. Plan accordingly. When people come into the room, you are going to manually turn off their video. That means as soon as they come in, you are going to click on their picture and stop video. Please note, they cannot turn their video back on until you turn it on. If it's a contestant and you stop the video, they can't do their speech until you start it again. Beware. You have to stop their videos, and here's why. I've had people that are just getting ready to do their speech, and a contestant comes on and starts going, how do I look? Yeah, no, I gotta fix it. In the middle of somebody's speech. So you have to turn off that video. I'm sorry, but I've seen some really strange things. You also turn off screen sharing. I've had people in the middle of a contest, and these were in some of the early, where they meant to hit the chat, because remember we turned the chat on way back when. They meant to hit the chat, and instead they did screen share, and we're looking at all of their emails in the middle of somebody's speech. So turn off share screen. Physically delete each breakout room so you can set it up. Remember I talked about when everybody comes back to the main room, delete them, or you could really just delete the chief judge. But I delete all of them and I reset it so only the contestants and the sergeant at arms, hopefully 2, go into the new breakout room for the evaluation and table topics. You are going to be turning off the ability to unmute themselves. So you go to participant, these 3 dots, uncheck allow participants to unmute themselves. That way nobody can accidentally start talking. And you also remember we have mute participants upon entry. Your last minute checklist, ask everybody to turn on their webcam so you can turn them off. Be sure the waiting room is enabled because you don't want people coming in the middle of speeches. No screen share, no ability to unmute, and I will add one more to that, no chat. So we want to make sure there's no chatting allowed during the contest. During the contest, stay on your toes. You only admit people during the minute of silence or before the contest officially starts. If the timer is having a problem, you want to say something in the WhatsApp room. All comments should be made via WhatsApp. The only thing you can say out loud is the contestant or chief judge is not in the room. Beware, a contest cannot continue if the chief judge is not in the room. We had one contest, it took 20 minutes for them to figure out the ballot counting. And I know there were many dignitaries that wanted us to continue. You cannot have a contest if the chief judge is not in the room, because they are the only one that can say, we have a technical difficulty, stop the contest. You will have 10 minutes to get back in. Only the chief judge can make that declaration. They must be in the room. For the humorous and international, know the speaking order. And what I used to do was I would have a sheet of paper with the speaking order, and during the minute of silence, I would ask to start their video and unmute that contestant. So I was constantly going in and making sure that I had everything set up properly for the next contestant. For evaluation and table topics, open the breakout room for the contestant and sergeant at arms, and during that minute of silence, when they say, we will now have a minute of silence, broadcast for the sergeant at arms to send contestant number X. I never use names. I always use the X because we're not supposed to really be giving any one contestant more love than any other. So even if the contestant wasn't in the room, I would say to the contest master, excuse me, contestant number 4 is not in the room yet, or contestant number 4 is in the room. I would not say Jane Doe is in the room. You can watch on your screen how the green dots start moving so you know where they are, and when it's all over, delete the room. For table topics, remember we would throw up the question. So when they say their name, you throw up the question, they say their name, they say the name, the table topic question, the table topic question, and the name. Leave it up there for a couple of seconds, and then you go on. Chief Judge, when we've closed all the rooms and we've deleted everything, you set up a room that has the Chief Judge and the ballot counter. Sometimes the Chief Judge might want a timer in there. Not your decision whether or not they have a timer in there. Send the timer. If they want a judge in there because there's a problem with a count, send the judge in there. Not your call. You do whatever they ask you to do. So now we've moved the Chief Judge and the ballot counters into their own room. They're good. We've opened the room. We've made sure they're in there. Once the Chief Judge leaves the room and the ballot counters are in the other room, you can tell the contest master the Chief Judge has left the room, and they can do all their fun stuff, their interviews or whatever they want to do. If there's a problem getting a vote, Chief Judge might request, move the judge to a room, just move them. It's not our call. Once the Chief Judge is doing their thing, the contest master is welcoming dignitaries, the functionaries, display whatever screen and whatever order they want it in. Unmute people as requested. Usually I would get information on that in advance. Like if they want all the contestants, they're going to interview them, I unmute and turn on their screens right away. So that way, when it's time, they're all unmuted and I don't have to stress out finding them or anything like that. One thing I didn't mention, and I'll add to this, I always recommend that the contestants name themselves contestant dash and the ballot counters dash. And this is all in the contest chair and contest master's scripts. So you see all this. This is nothing new. When the winner is done, the Chief Judge will send you the information. You might be doing this. You might be doing a certificate, which is fine. Get confirmation the order is correct. Copy your screen. Do not take responsibility that you've done this backwards, because I've had people send me information, contestant number 1, 2, 3. Then they send it 3, 2, 1. I've had one person send it 2, 1, 3. It's like, be consistent. Tell me who's number 1, who's number 2, who's number 3, but they don't do that. They put it whatever order they want, and you have to interpret and put it on this screen correctly. So make sure somebody else is reviewing your work, because once the screen is reviewed, if someone doesn't pipe up, that is the final winner. So when the judge returns, you are almost done. You're on the home stretch. Here we go. You've got the winning slides. You've confirmed it. Now you need to know, how do they want to announce it? Do they want to say Roadrunner and then you show your screen, or do they want you to show the screen and then they say Roadrunner? I usually would literally sit on my hands, put my hands on my lap until I was supposed to hit the button, because I didn't want to hit it in advance. But that's me. I'm extra careful. When the contest is over, unmute everyone, turn on all the videos, and finally, breathe. You are done. You can breathe. Honest engines. So here we go. I know there's a ton of questions, and I want to remind you that you have contest scripts that walk through how you do all of this and what you say. And I would recommend highly that you look at this. Are the winning contest slides available? I had to stop breathing at the end. I understand that, Anthony. Yes, the winning contest slides will be available. I believe, Shakira, if you will confirm, everything that I had done last year is going to be up on the website. The scripts, the PowerPoint presentations, yes?
Correct.
Okay, so you have everything. I would suggest that you go through it, you look at it, and you make sure that you understand how that's going to work. All right, let's see. Good point, Sarah. Turn off videos and mic right after someone finishes their speech. Thank you very much for that comment. A lot of times, if I forget to do that, because you're doing so many other things, you'll put it in the WhatsApp chat. Can you please mute so-and-so? Okay, fine. I forgot that person. Also, thank you very much, Miss Ann. Do I have any other questions from the floor? I don't see any others in the chat box. Anthony.
I had a question regarding something we spoke about at the beginning. We were talking about table topics and evaluations. There's a distinction between the contestant leaving the entire meeting and then the contestant leaving the breakout room, correct?
Yes.
So if they were to leave the breakout room and they're still in there in the main room, disqualified. But if they leave the breakout room and they leave the entire meeting, they have 10 minutes to get back in.
Okay, so it all depends on whether or not their number had been called. If I am in the breakout room and I lose my connection and I don't have a second device, I'm disqualified. Because think about it logically. Somebody could be texting me, here's the question, here's what this person said. So you're done, it's over. If I've left the breakout room, my contestant number was called, and instead of leaving the breakout, I left the meeting, I have 5 minutes to get into the main meeting. But make sure that they know, put it in the WhatsApp group, the contestant WhatsApp group, I accidentally left the meeting, look for me in the waiting room, so the coordinator knows to look for them. If they are in the main room and they've started their speech and they lost it, or it sounds like, wow, and the chief judge stops the contest, the chief judge has to stop it. They have 10 minutes to get back in, and only 30 seconds gets added to the end. So the first part is the 5 minutes going from A to B. The second part is 10 minutes because the chief judge stopped the contest, or the person literally, their connection got dropped. So those are the two distinctions. Did you say you had another question, or did that handle both?
That handled both, but another thing came to mind. While you are watching the contestants, they should be looking at the camera and hands visible. Is that okay? That's
right. The whole time they're in the sergeant at arms room. Yep, there you go, Linda. Hands up. Do so. I tell them, I kid around with them. Hey, go get some weights. You can do weightlifting. You know, as long as we can see you. And no, yeah, there you go. Do some arm work. As long as the sergeant at arms can see you, you're fine. And if they're going to use 2 devices, they have to be able to see you on both devices. And eye contact. They can't be doing one of these. It's back to somebody could be texting them. Any other questions? Wow, you guys
Will you be
good.
providing training for division technical coordinators at some point?
Say it again, please.
Would you be providing training for our division technical coordinators? Because like Division A is going to have their own people there to support.
Yes, if you want to go like do a trial run and stuff like that, we can do that. I'm more than willing to help out whoever needs to do that. And what we can do is we can move the host from person to person so everybody can see how to handle these breakout rooms. But you guys have to ask me. I'm not going to go around asking. It's not my job. So if you guys have questions, you go to Shakira. If it comes to me, I am more than happy to help whoever comes to me.
All right, I'll be reaching out. Thank you.
All right, that's absolutely fine. I'm there for whoever needs it.
Lois?
Yes, ma'am.
Last time, every contest I was involved in, we had a pre-run through where the judges and the chief judge, the ballot counters, and everybody involved got together, did a mock situation, and we all understood and just basically proved that we knew what we were doing. That was immensely helpful. Okay. I highly recommend we do that.
Okay, well.
The day of the contest is not the day to find out you don't know how to do something.
I absolutely 150% agree. I mean, my area directors, beware, you are definitely having scripts. You are going to be doing this to the nth degree, but I'm not the contest coordinator or the technical coordinator. I don't have those roles right now, but I totally agree with you. I will jump on anyone that needs help. I'm more than willing to help as long as I'm not stepping on toes. And Shakira will yell at me when I do because I'm really good at stepping on toes. But I'm there for you guys, whatever you need. And I agree, you should have prep work in advance of any of the contests. I think the clubs, they're not going to probably do it in advance. So that's going to be more of a, let's just figure it out as we go. But the area contests, definitely, if you're going to be a coordinator, you should have some advanced work on that because that breakout room is kind of scary until you learn how to do it.
Yellow.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments, concerns? I will tell you, you can do this. Edward, did you have a question? Okay. I'll tell you, you can do this. It takes a little bit of perspiration. You know, it takes a lot of, keep telling yourself, I can get through this, I can get through this. And, you know, I walked out of every district contest going, I'm taking a shower now because it is kind of stressful. I'm not going to kid with you, you know. These are people's lives that you're messing with. And it's important to some of these people. I mean, they are looking at this as a stepping stone maybe to a future career. So keep that in mind and treat each one with kid gloves and unique. And you can't go wrong. If you make a mistake, you make a mistake, okay? It's going to happen. Just remember, you're not giving your opinion on anything to the public. You can do it behind the scenes, but nothing to the public. All right?